Hi guys, this is a video that I'm recording, and it's one of the videos that I would say what's the most important thing that can actually change your life. There's a lot of self-help advice out there, but one thing that I kind of have looked through over the years of actually doing it is actually focusing on taking action. Action is the cure, as Tony Robbins has said. I've read a lot of Tony Robbins books. I've followed the guy for many, many years, but I would say the one thing that I can resonate the most with, and that's helped my life, is actually taking massive action. And it all starts with just taking the action. A lot of people like to kind of read about, self-help, read about it, theorize, and think about, if I read a book and I don't do anything, it's better than nothing. But I think that's even worse because um, you're actually mental masturbating. In essence, you're putting off the inevitable. You know that you need to take an action, but I think it's actually a form of procrastination. So I think that if you're going to do anything, if you're going to achieve anything, it's all about big boatload of action. So let's take an example. Let's say that you need to prepare for a presentation at work. What's the first step that you can actually do? First step that you can potentially do is actually get an A4 piece of paper, get a pen, or if you prefer Word, get that, and then bullet point what you could potentially speak about. The next step is actually, starting the presentation, completing the presentation, and then after that is actually doing some practice and practicing in front of people to do such a speech. So those are the kind of action points that I think are really, really important. One thing that I would say from that as well is whenever I take action, whether that's a gym, whether that's approaching women, whether that's hustling, in your job, pushing for the promotion, it's all about taking action. The first step. Now, some people get put off about taking action, and they become a bit afraid. It's like going to the gym for the first time in your life. If you go to the gym, you might be put off by the fact that you see a lot of fit people, and you might be intimidated. And sometimes what I see as well, especially we're in January the 6th, is we've actually hit that New Year's resolution period. I was actually in the gym today about 6:30 a.m. and I saw a lot of people, New Year resolution people, just going to the gym, doing this, doing that, whatever they were doing. What I would say is even a little bit is better than nothing. Even a little bit. Even a tiny little bit is better than absolutely nothing. So as opposed to, taking huge amounts of action, going to the gym for 1-2 hours every day, 6-7 days a week, what tends to happen is if you are not the person who has done that previously in a previous life, that's going to be very, very difficult to actually sustain. So the better call for action is actually going 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And then when you actually get there, it actually does eventually turn into half an hour, 40 minutes, 50 minutes. But do the bare minimum initially. Get that as a habit, as it says in kind of Atomic Habits. Small steps lead to progress. If you can instill something like the gym, I think it's a wonderful habit, and it actually, really does improve your life. I remember actually, one Thursday where I just wasn't feeling good, and then I kind of procrastinated and I didn't go to the gym, and for the whole entire fucking day I was feeling absolute dog shit. I was tired, I was down. I wouldn't say I was depressed, but I was really, really tired and down and upset that I didn't go to the gym. So for me, it made a huge difference in terms of who I am today, where I'm going, and the massive kind of action in terms of where I want to go. I'm still relatively young. I'm not old, but I'm eventually getting there. I'm 29 years old. But I think if you take, a small amount of action, it goes a long way. So if you can maybe try and implement one piece of advice, is take a bit of action. What have you been actually putting off? Whether it's a phone call, whether it's meeting your parents, whether it's saying hello to a friend, whether it's saying hello to that cute girl near the bus station. We only live on this planet really as a man for about, I would say, 74 years of prime life, and then there's a substantial decline. And if you're not that lucky, it might be slightly less than that. If you are lucky, it might be slightly longer than that. But the whole point is you're not here for a long time. So take things as they are, take them a day at a time. It's extremely important to goal set, but at the same time, you need to have fun. But if you really want to achieve your goals, it's about taking big action. But big action, the only way it leads to big action is by taking small steps. Small steps lead to action, lead to results, and then eventually you kind of springboard and you can build other habits such as meditation, etc. But if I would say one thing, and with the self development community, there's a lot of great things about it, but I think it has turned into um, a community, I would say, of avoidance. It's like, meditate and everything will be fine, and nothing will happen, etc. But my, my inclination is, if you don't take massive amounts of action, nothing's going to change. You can meditate for 20, 30 years on top of a mountain. You can stand there, but it's not really going to change the quality of your life. Yeah, you'll be calmer, you'll be more relaxed, but let's be real, we live in a real world. um, you're watching this video because you want to implement, potentially a piece of advice, something that can potentially help you, something that you can use later on, and maybe looking for a bit of inspiration. But I think it starts with the action. So, what one small thing can you do tomorrow, not the day after, not next week, but I'm talking about tomorrow, that you can actually implement, and it will actually go a long, long way. One thing that you can definitely do, as I said, start small, go to the gym. If you can't, or you're too embarrassed to go to the gym for whatever reason, you don't think you're fit enough or you don't feel good enough, there's many reasons. Start small, go for a small walk. A mentor once said to me, a morning walk is absolutely pivotal, for a great kind of mood starting the day. So I would say, go for a walk, take some kind of action, push yourself forward. This is 2025. Let's take the bull by the horns and make this an amazing year. Peace.